I recently finished reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and while the book had a myriad of nuggets for self-improvement, there was one concept in particular that made the book worth its purchase and cost. The concept in which I'm referring to originates over 200 years ago and started with French philosopher Denis Diderot. And today, it's well known in anthropological circles as the Diderot Effect. Today's video is an exploration of the Diderot Effect and how it influences the purchases we make and the aesthetics we create. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew What It Do. Let's talk the Diderot Effect. What is the Diderot Effect? The Diderot Effect is essentially a social phenomenon related to how we consume. There are two pillars to the effect. The first idea states that goods purchased by consumers will align with their sense of identity and, as a result, will complement one another. Essentially saying that the items of clothing that you consume, the purchases that you make, are in tandem with your sense of self-identity. The second idea states that the introduction of a new possession that deviates from the consumer's current complementary goods can result in the process of spiraling consumption. And from my interpretation, I would also add to that definition, can result in the process of spiraling, obsessive, aesthetic curation. Even if you've never heard of the Diderot effect, I think at some level, if you're a conscious consumer, you understand that your identity is in line with the purchases that you make in your current life. Vegans buy vegan leather shoes. Sneakerheads buy sneakers, and thrifters buy thrifted clothing. All things are as they should be, like my grandpa would say. In my opinion, the Diderot effect is at the core of this generation's obsession with aesthetics. And all an aesthetic is the manifestation of the Diderot effect. For example, the website Cosmic Studio identifies 12 internet, mainly TikTok aesthetics. We have indie aesthetic, grunge aesthetic, soft girl aesthetic, Y2K aesthetic, dark academia aesthetic, baddie aesthetic, visco girl aesthetic, kawaii aesthetic, e-girl aesthetic, fairycore aesthetic, cottagecore aesthetic, pastel goth aesthetic. These are obviously more female focused than they are male focused, but they also exist in the male fashion or aesthetic spaces. Each aesthetic is made up of consumer goods that signal to the other members that are a part of the group that they too are a part of that particular aesthetic. Let's compare a couple of these. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. If we look at the grunge aesthetic versus the soft girl aesthetic, it becomes glaringly obvious the products that denote one aesthetic from the other and how consumption is a part of capturing what an aesthetic is about. Grunge, in the words of Cosmic Studio, is the fashion of people who are rebellious, independent, challenging authority, and breaking the rules. It includes items such as heavy mascaras, chokers, silver ring sets, dark color Converses, ripped jeans, and, of course, baggy clothes. While soft girl, on the other hand, is the style of cute and sweet girls, and I quote, "It includes pink lip gloss, wearing pastel tones, high-waisted miniskirts, sunglasses, and cute bags." The Diderot effect is at the core of aesthetic curation because, as I stated in the initial rule, consumers buy based on identity, and they will continue to buy and perpetuate the idea of the self, of the identity that they have created in their mind's eye. Another way that I like to think about it from a personal perspective is when I first started to get into fashion. I tell this story often if you've listened to me on a podcast or listened to my own podcast, but during my high school years, I was starting to come into my own, and I wanted to present myself in a way that, one, got more attention for girls, and just in a way that would make me feel more confident as a young man growing up in the high school environment that I was in. And I thought fashion was a way for me to feel that confidence and feel like I was presenting myself in a noble manner, in a good manner. I remember the first sneakers that I owned that I thought were amazing were the Air Max 90s in this cool gray colorway. They were a half size too big, but I went to school feeling a bit better about myself after buying these sneakers. But something was still off. I had cool sneakers, but I felt that the pants I was wearing, the tops I was wearing, didn't necessarily correlate with the cool new sneakers that I had just acquired. I thought to myself, I need a cool pair of pants, I need a cool hoodie, I need a cool backpack, I need a cool hat. And that cycle repeated itself until on and on and on. And now I have these pair of Yohji Yamamoto 5-panel Japanese selvage denim jeans. Don't be like me, kids. You kind of see what I'm trying to say, right? Having a nice looking pair of shoes is usually just the beginning. It's usually the gateway drug to the curation of the aesthetic that you want to have. And that's exactly what the Diderot Effect states. The items that you purchase, the items that you consume, the things that you're interested in complement each other in tandem with the identity that you are either trying to create or the identity that you perceive to have in the current moment. And I can bring up the second rule of the Diderot effect as well for the high school Air Max 90 example. Once you buy an item that deviates from the complementary goods that you own, you begin to spiral. And this has a real negative connotation because you buy something and then you have to buy more and more and more. And the same line of thought can be applied to someone who's trying to create a new and better identity for themselves, maybe in a new environment or with a new subset of friends. Or this idea can be applied to someone trying to improve their current living environment, maybe to feel more creative or inspiring. I feel there's a tendency to shun people who are obsessed with aesthetics. Everyone has an aesthetic, and even being anti-aesthetic is an aesthetic in some fashion. And when it comes to the clothes that we put on our back, we curate the items in our closet because in some way they align with the inner version of self that we are trying to portray outwardly. But of course, there are larger factors that play a role beyond that idea. Let's get into the flaws of the Diderot effect. But before we do that, let's get a word in for today's sponsor, Squarespace. Are you interested in making your very own website for a brand or creative project? Squarespace offers a comprehensive amount of features to make the website that you've always dreamed of. If you want to sell your products direct to consumer, or if you just want to display your body of work, Squarespace makes it easy to do that and more. Currently, I'm using my Squarespace website as a hub for all of my content and all of my social media platforms. And if you needed a sign to help nudge you into creating your first website, this is your sign. Visit squarespace.com/DrewJoyner for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. There are two main flaws that I've found with the Diderot effect as it pertains to the long-lasting impact on the self. And what I mean is that not every individual has the ability to ascertain the goods to properly express themselves through the products that they buy. There is definitely a dormant grunge girl out there in the middle of rural nowhere, Kansas. But her current style and aesthetic can't match the grunge girl aesthetic because she doesn't have the access or the income to look the look. Being and striving to be are two very different things. And while being is an important part of the conscious state, striving to be is equally as important to an individual striving to create an identity that they don't currently have. Money and socioeconomic status can restrict an individual's ability to buy based on their identity, unlike what the Diderot effect says, that their identity is intrinsically entrenched with the purchasing decisions of an individual. The second flaw of the Diderot effect is the aspect of overconsumption. This is probably something you had been thinking about for a good chunk of this video. Yes, the more we buy, the more we must buy to keep up with the aesthetic that we have created, or we must buy to develop the aesthetic that we strive to have. In a world riddled with lack, the societies that have an abundance overconsume at an alarming rate, which also has a myriad of negative repercussions. I don't think I need to get into the minutia of what it means to overconsume. Overconsuming simply means you have more than what you probably need, and as a result, it creates all of these inequities along the purchase pipeline. What the Diderot effect highlights is curating an identity, an aesthetic based solely on the products that are associated with that identity is a cause for negative repercussions, especially to the environment and to the world as a whole. Does that mean your identity should be rooted in something other than the products that you buy? Absolutely. Your identity is more than just the things that you consume, more than just the clothes that you wear. It's how you treat other people, your character, and whether or not you are an honest human being. Your style and fashion can tell a story to the people in your environment, but how you act and how you conduct yourself tells an even larger story beyond the products that you purchase. What are your thoughts on today's discussion? I look forward to seeing your comments down in the comment section. And as always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2023. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you from me, wherever you are in the world. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Abianto. Peace. Yo, what is good post vid? Here's a fist bump for the one time. Bop! Gotta hit it with the 2 times. Bop! We back with 2-time fist bumps. I thank you guys so much for staying to the end of the video, watching the entirety of the video. What you guys think of the Diderot effect? Kind of cool, huh? For the post vid question of the day, I have, what are some things that you're working towards in 2023? 2 months are already down the tube, down the hatchet, down the pipe, whatever. They're gone. January, February, it went like that. It's crazy. What are some goals that you're working towards for 2023? If there's anything that you're like looking forward to doing in the year, or maybe, you know, you're looking to get your year back on track, let me know down in the comments. For me, I'm trying to definitely read more. As you guys have probably already seen, like a lot of the videos in 2023 are inspired by the books I've been reading. And if you want me to give you a list of the books I'm planning to read, or I read, or at some point, let me know down in the comments as well, because I think reading is a great way to increase the good old noggin there. And for me, when I say reading, a lot of times, guys, I'm literally using an audiobook of some sort and listening to it when I'm working out instead of music. I'm listening to it just as a meditative listen. It's something that I've been striving for. Not to say that you need to do it by any means. I'm not, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you next week. Peace.